Gasoline. We use it to power our cars on a daily basis. But do you know the deadly effects that this seemingly regular chemical can have? 1 gallon of gasoline produces 19 pounds of carbon dioxide, which also contributes to the global warming effect, which is melting our polar ice caps and raising the ocean level. Unburned gasoline can react with sunlight and create a smog in the air, which makes the air harmful for us to breathe in. And if the smog gets too much, you might have to start wearing gas masks, and that's not a good thing.
Go on walks sometimes, enjoy the fresh air, go and like take a walk on a path, maybe ride my bike around Okemos.
Would you?
I like to run. I like to go camping. I like to kayak. I do a lot of stuff outside.
Alright.
I enjoy playing golf and going fishing.
I enjoy the sun and the fresh air and just not being cooped up.
I like to run.
I like to bike ride.
I like to play with my dogs. I like to go for a walk.
I like to play lacrosse.
I like to run and walk in the park, and that's about it.
Oh, I'd be pretty upset, I'm not like a big environmentalist, but I'd be upset. I like my fresh air.
I'd be pretty upset because being inside sucks a lot. And that'd just not be fair.
I think the world would suffer. I think that we would probably be in poor health and we wouldn't get the physical activity we need, and we would be hooked up to breathing tanks because we wouldn't be able to breathe outside. So I think that a lot would change.
I would feel really sad, like on the news when you hear about oil spills in the rivers and things like that. I always think of the animals and how the animals suffer and they're gonna die, because I'm a really big animal lover.
Alright.
I wouldn't be able to enjoy the fresh air.
I wouldn't be able to go on my awesome bike rides.
I wouldn't be able to play with my dogs outside because they love to be outside and run around. I wouldn't be able to admire the nature on my walks.
I wouldn't be able to play my sport, and like all the outside sports would be taken away from high schoolers, so it'd be really upsetting for many people.
I feel a bit disappointed and sad because I enjoy the environment. It's a part of our lives, and yeah, it would be disappointing.
Ethanol. Ethanol is an alcohol-based fuel made by fermenting and distilling crops, such as corn. Ethanol reduces our dependence on foreign oil, and it reduces greenhouse gas emissions, which is better for the environment. There's two types of ethanol. There's one, which is E10, and one is E85. E10 is a blend of 10% ethanol and 90% gas, which is used in most cars, and that only gets 3 to 4 miles per gallon, which isn't very good. And so then the second half is E85, which is 85% ethanol and 15% gas, and that can be used in the flex fuel vehicles. The advantages of E85 and the disadvantages are: the advantages of ethanol fuel is domestically produced, and it reduces the use of imported petroleum, so that saves money for the government, and it also lowers air emissions of pollutants, and it resists engine knock, which is better for you. The second type of thing that I researched for our project was hybrid cars. Hybrid cars, there are two types of hybrid cars. One is a parallel hybrid, and the second is a series hybrid plug. They are powered by an electrical battery that charges when you drive, and then the parallel hybrids are where it is gasoline engine and electrical engine working together, so it just switches back and forth from gas to electrical. And then the series hybrid is a gasoline engine. Then hybrid cars gain efficiency from regenerative braking, which is the electric motor that drives a hybrid, can also slow the car. And then in this mode, the electric motor acts as a generator and charges the batteries while the car is slowing down. It also gains efficiency from periodic engine shutoff. So when a hybrid is stopped at a stoplight, the engine will shut off to save electricity. And then it's advanced aerodynamics, which reduces drag when you're driving. And then it also has low rolling resistance tires, which makes it narrow and stiffer tires, which have less drag on our road. And then it has lighter weight materials made out of it, so it increases the efficiency of hybrid cars. Hybrid cars also get good miles per gallon in the city. It ranges from like 35 miles per gallon in the city, and then on the highway to 44 miles per gallon on the highway. And then you can travel for 650 miles before you have to fill up again, which is very good for a car.
Which is why we must find a solution. And the most logical solution, in my opinion, is switching to public transportation. Public transportation has many benefits, and it's a cheap, affordable way for us to get from place to place that everyone can use and is safer for the environment. The ELPC has said high-speed trains in the Midwest can be 3 times as efficient as cars, decrease dependence on foreign oil, and reduce air pollution. Not only that, downtown rail stations will pull people, jobs, and businesses back into the city centrals, which is something that in these recession times, we need more jobs. The economic value has been estimated at $157 billion through 2030. And high-speed rail will relieve $1.3 billion in highway maintenance. And that's the kind of money that government can use to better our schools, provide better law enforcement, and even provide better health care. Things that I feel are much more important than... While on the subject of public transportation, let's talk about public buses, a form of transportation that I feel is kind of undervalued. But when looked at with the statistics, you start to realize how much of a safe and reliable replacement this could be to privatized vehicles. According to Jefferson Transit, buses produce 95% less carbon monoxide per passenger mile than private vehicles, which will go in the effort of helping the environment and trying to stop the damage that gasoline has already caused. Oh yeah, and one more thing, buses are said to be 170 times safer than driving in the car. So riding a bus is a much more efficient way because you don't have to worry about seatbelts or texting while driving or drinking while driving, which is a big problem in today's society. Now let's wrap it up. As a whole, households that use public transportation will save more than $10,000 a year. That's $10,000 extra dollars that you can have to do whatever you want. Also, if communities that invest in public transit will reduce the nation's carbon emissions by 37 million metric tons annually. That's equal to if New York City, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Denver, and Los Angeles combined stopped using electricity. Regardless of whatever you may doubts you have of public transportation, you have to realize that it is pretty good.
The environment needs to be protected because we have to save that for our children.